The Mind Buzz, now partnered with My Grito Industries.
The Mind Buzz is powered by Mind Buzz Media. Mind Buzz Media is an on-site video and audio podcast production company. Have you ever thought about starting your own video and audio podcast? Or do you have an existing podcast that you want to take to the next level? Mind Buzz Media brings a professional podcast studio to you. Visit mindbuzz.org for more.
This isn't the Mexican Kill Tony. What are you talking about?
It is the Mexican Kill Tony.
Shut up, Red Band. I mean Jay.
This is 100% Kill Gil.
Hey, fool, I didn't know you brought your fucking Chicano studies teacher today, dog.
You did. And hopefully you learned something.
Probably not with the I don't know.
I haven't watched the curtains like that since I was born. They were my mom's. That was
Trời ơi, bạn đi một tuần khóc khóc gặp mày mà bung bày dân tù lù. Please feel free to sing along if you know the words.
You guys want to see Darby Cash next month again? Yeah? Yes or no?
I'll be honest, I would kiss you just for the bit.
Dude, you're not down.
You're not down. You're not down.
Oh my God!
Oh, we got Dylan fucking comedy open mic, damn it.
Delic Live Comedy Podcast Episode 3 coming soon on this channel. The Mind Buzz. Johnny Nasty Boots is in the house. A boot! What is up, Mind Buzz Universe? Welcome back to another podcast episode of the Mind Buzz. I am your host, Gil, and working the board today is the wonderful and beautiful, you guys can't see her, Amber. How are you?
Today and every day.
Today and
every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday evening on the live podcast.
I'm good. How are you?
Streaming live from a dumpy old location. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm good.
I am good. You are good. We are excited. We got some cool things coming up in the next couple of weeks. But first, let's do a quick recap on last week and all the cool stuff that you did, that we both did, actually. Starting with Wednesday night's open mic was another success. Thank you, James, and thank you, Ricky, for coming out and always helping us produce this open mic in the city of Paramount. And that's every Wednesday in the city of Paramount at Horchateria. Sign-ups at 8:30 and 9 p.m. start. It's open to anybody. So come out, enjoy some laughs, work on some material, and anything else for the Wednesday? I don't think so. So for the Puro Laughs comedy, we are getting our showcase started. Our first Puro Laughs comedy showcase on July 19th. That's just 10 days. So watch out the Instagram at Delic Comedy for all the promos. It's going to be fun. We got a great lineup for everybody, so it's going to be an awesome time.
Yeah.
Thursday. What did we do Thursday?
I don't know.
I felt we didn't do anything. I felt like we
Thursday
did.
was 4th of July.
We had a great 4th. I wrote a nice joke about it, and it worked. It was awesome. It was amazing. So come out July 19th to hear my 4th of July joke. And then Friday, what do we have Friday?
Friday, we had Santo Comedy, and we had, go ahead.
No, I'm nodding. Yes. Chris Estrada.
Chris Estrada.
Yeah.
That's what I was like, take it away.
I think I left the ice machine on. I'm going to go turn that off.
All right, go turn it off. I'll continue to narrate into the abyss. On Friday, we had Santo Comedy, which we had Chris Estrada come out and do his set. That was fun. Gil bartended and served drinks for everyone. He had to cut off a few people at some point. But it was fun. And I'm talking to myself. Hurry up.
Okay. Start on Saturday.
On Saturday, what did we do on Saturday? Oh, on Saturday, I hosted my second speed dating night.
Speed dating was awesome. I bartended. I had to cut a few people off.
No, you cut people off on Friday.
Oh yeah, I know. It's like saying that. I like cutting people off. It was exciting. It was a good turnout. You have another.
And then on Sunday.
Another one, right?
Yeah, I have another one coming up. And then on Sunday, we did the Kitty and Friends pop-up, which is always freaking wild.
Always a great turnout for Hello Kitty. It blows my mind the amount of support and the amount of fans. These are die-hard Hello Kitty fans.
We're out here living.
You know what I liked? I liked about this one, and what I'm starting to learn with you is that there's Hello Kitty fans well in the 30s and like 40s, like 40-year-old range and 30-year-old range. And it blows my mind because they still know the characters. It's a whole universe that I've never really thought about. So
it's kind of like the equivalent of you being like a wrestling fan, and there's wrestling fans in their 30s and 40s, and you guys are like, ah.
And there's wrestling fans now that talk about like their favorite wrestlers, like Cody Rhodes and whoever else.
The same thing with.
And I'm just like, who's Cody Rhodes? Like, I remember The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mankind, Kane, Undertaker.
So it's the same. So Hello Kitties are wrestling without the violence.
I like that. I like that. Without Hell in the Cell and cage matches. Okay, I understand that. I understand Hello Kitty now.
Got it.
That you explained it.
But yeah, that was fun. It was entertaining. It was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then what did we do Monday? What was the thing on Monday that we did?
Oh, you had 2 shows on Monday.
Yeah, 2 shows on Monday. Well, the first one was I went out to go and support Danny Nixon and Mikey Barajas in Santa Fe, I believe, at their place that they do the Red Room comedy. It was it's a showcase. It's an open mic. Go check it out. They do it once a month. I believe the city is like Santa Fe, I believe, or something. Go check it out. The Red Room comedy on Instagram. It's dope. Go check it out. And then I did a spot in Fullerton at the Sunset Lounge for Idiots United. Thanks Mario Rodriguez for the spot. It was a great hang. So busy Monday. Now we're here Tuesday night here in the studio in the flesh. Anything else before we get into today's guest?
Nope, that's all I got.
All right. I am excited to talk to this gentleman. He is awesome. He's a musician. He's out from Hollywood. So thank you for coming out and doing the podcast. Please give it up for Johnny Nasty Boots. Thank you.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
For being here, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation. It's a cool spot. I love it.
Appreciate it, dude. Thank you. So when did you come out to Hollywood and start your musical career?
Well, I'm from Mexico City. I moved to LA 2 years and a half. Before starting in Hollywood, I was everywhere around, LA, because it's like, okay, who has a couch? Who has a room? Whatever, So I was jumping from here to there and having so much fun. And yeah, I started Johnny Nasty with 2015. So
you want to scoot over just a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
There.
So it has been a really, really good time since 2015 that I started Johnny Nasty Wood doing rock and roll and having so much fun now here in LA.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How did you come up with the name?
There's this song by the Rolling Stones called Can You Hear Me Knocking that it comes in this album named Stick Fingers. So Mick Jagger sings Plastic Boots in one of the songs. But there's a live version where he sings Nasty Boots. And I was like, that sounds cool. That sounds like a bluesman name.
And this is Mick Jagger?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, that sounds very, very bluesy. And I started using it as as an email. My nickname on the internet was literally Johnny Nasty Boots. And when this opportunity came, to put out my music and that I was doing blues music first, I was like, hey, that's the perfect bluesman name, so I'll keep it. And I always have the Nasty Boots on. So that's how it
where
came out. Yeah.
that's the origin of Nasty
That's the
Boots.
origin. Oh yeah.
So you like the Ramones, classic punk rock?
Yeah. I like the Ramones. I'm not consider myself a punk rocker. Like I'm even more old school than the Ramones. Like I like Led Zeppelin. I like Jimi Hendrix and Frank Zappa and 60s, 70s, all that
Nice.
stuff. I mean, I listen to a lot of music, but I do like the Ramones too, of course.
Of course. You can. Who hates the Ramones?
Yeah, it's part
find
of the
somebody
rock and roll.
that doesn't like the
I know
Ramones.
people that don't like the Ramones, I have to say, but it's kind of like, come on, at least you don't like the Spider-Man theme? Come on.
Yeah, come on. You gotta like something.
Right.
So, are you? Has anybody asked you if you like the Beatles or the Rolling Stones? Do you have a choice?
Yeah, I have here that question.
It's a
multiple
controversial.
times. It is, but it's kind of it's silly. I mean, the last album of the Rolling Stones, literally, it's having Paul McCartney on bass. So it's like, come on, they are homies.
I think because they're just pioneers in rock and roll.
Yeah.
Anyways, right? And this is my theory. My theory is you have certain bands that used the Beatles as a like their inspiration, right?
Yeah.
And then you have another group bands that used the Rolling Stones as their inspiration.
Yeah.
So there's two different avenues.
But I think that the best bands, it's those that has both in their
Oh, yeah.
inspiration.
Oh yeah.
Because it's they are very different beasts, So I think they can coexist together. Like
Absolutely.
literally, the first successful single of the Rolling Stones was a cover of the Beatles.
Yeah.
I Wanna Be Your Man.
Right. Which is wild. When I started getting into my Beatlemania phase, I did not know how much influence these guys had on rock and roll and
It's
rock
crazy.
and roll history.
It's really crazy.
Yeah. And then not even that too. They were doing covers from the Shirelles. I think is it from the Shirelles? Like their first 2-3 albums, they had some covers of old doo-wop oldie music
they
from
used to love
America.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Rolling Stones were like more in the bluesy side.
Right.
Like
yeah. So there's
slightly more aggressive, let's call it like that, more obscure, more dark, I will say.
Oh yeah, but when Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band came out, that just it had influence on the
everything and Satanic Majestic Request.
Yeah, that and then Pet Sounds too.
Yeah, the Beach Boys.
If we talk about the Beach Boys too,
yeah, it's like the first art album that it's put it out.
Yeah, one of the first concept albums.
Yeah,
too.
That also inspired a lot, like Jimi Hendrix. He performed Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band on their album release parties. That is like, oh, you there?
It's so crazy how those guys, like even Jimi Hendrix, he didn't start getting, he wasn't famous here in the United States.
Yeah, that's what I have here.
Until he moved to London and started playing out there.
Until he passed away.
Really?
Oh,
you know what? That's a weird thing to think about too.
Yeah, but it's very common on a lot of artists, like painters and, book writers. It's like, it's kind of common that, I mean, when the artists pass away, the press and everybody has something to talk about that artist that, it's like, oh, how he died, why he died so young. So that generates some controversy. And it's like more, people tend to, les gusta el chisme. They like the gossip, It's funny. So that's a really smart way that the labels and the people that manage the artist or owns the copyright or whatever to push the music.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on the 27 Club? Have you heard that before?
Oh yeah, it's a funny coincidence. I hate that they never mentioned Robert Johnson as the first club member, or at least one of the first ones.
Can you pull up the list of the 27 Club?
Sure.
so we can get that situated.
Janis, it's and Hendrix and Brian Jones.
Brian Jones.
And Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
More recently, right?
Yeah.
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse. I think that one's the most recent. Was Amy Winehouse a few years ago? Have you seen
It's the name of this? Oh, I forgot. This Mexican singer that passed away when he was 27.
Really?
This song, he was like Lobo Estepario, Lobo Solitario, I don't know. Lobo Domesticado. Like domesticated wolf. I don't remember. Valentín Elizalde, I think he passed away at 27
yeah.
too. So he's part of the club.
Oh.
I was like, wait, who are you talking about? And then you said Valentina. I was like, okay, now I know who you're talking about.
Okay. There's the pictures. Do we have the names of these guys?
Let me see.
Put on the screen too.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Robert Johnson. 27. That was probably the first recorded one, 1938.
Brian Jones.
Brian Jones. Jimi Hendrix.
Jimmy.
Janis Joplin. Jim Morrison. 71. Man, I feel like they were just like year after year, at least in the 70s, right?
Yeah, I remember my dad told me one day, like, it was really crazy. Like, when it happened in those years, like, all of they start with J, and they are, like, part of the same movement of rock bands of the history. So it was, like, very in a short period of time. So that was the crazy thing that happened at the end of the 60s. But it's, like, the end of the peace and love era, kind of.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that happened at the end of the 60s. Like, how far do you know about Charles Manson?
I know a lot of all this stuff. It's like, yeah.
the Charles Manson trial and what they did in the Charles Manson family, that they use that as like a core representation of the end of the Summer of Love.
Yeah.
Right? Or the end of the so-called hippie era, because they were in fact part of the counterculture back then, and
they were kind of hippies.
Yeah, and they use I felt like media or whoever the right, the conservative government used that to I guess like as a type of propaganda against the counterculture. Just maybe, I don't know.
But also you have Altamont.
What is that?
Oh, it's like this, first you have Woodstock.
Okay.
That it's like the festival, the hippie festival for excellence. And then you have Altamont, that it was another festival that everything was going like wrong. Oh. So they had to move the location like multiple of times. The equipment, there was like troubles with the equipment and also the security. So the Rolling Stones were headlining, and there was they had to hire these guys, the Hell Angels.
Oh,
and
yeah, that's
killed
right.
a guy that it was on the audience during the performance of the Rolling Stones. So that happened in '69. So it was like the end of the Summer of Love.
And what was the festival name?
Altamont.
Altamont. Can you look that up?
I don't remember exactly the whole name.
Altamont 1969. Whoa.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was one of them, huh?
Like there's people that says, on Woodstock you can feel the love and the good vibes, and in Altamont was like madness and craziness.
Well, it's like they try to recreate Woodstock in 1999.
Oh yeah,
which was probably
the
even
famous reunion, kind of. Yeah, was bad.
That was crazy. No, well, it's the festival's called
Altamont.
Altamont. There we go.
I wanted to see how you spelled it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I think that's in California actually.
Altamont free concert.
Is it this one?
Oh, it was like at a fairgrounds.
I think it's
300,000 people. Whoa.
Yeah, it was the Jefferson Airplane playing, and what's the name? I think the Grateful Dead too, and all the bands from that era.
Yeah.
Some
Whoa.
people, I know that I think it was the Buffalo Springfield. I think they canceled their presentation. They were like, no way, we're going to perform tonight. It looks insane. Like it looks crazy. So for their own safety, they decide to cancel and they leave. There's a really good documentary about it. It's called I think Give Me Shelter.
Whoa, I gotta check that out. Yeah, at what point do you think to not do a show? You know what I mean? Like, what would be your like? No, I don't think I'm gonna go up tonight.
I think that the crowd, if the crowd were like, being violent or something, or like throwing stuff or just like feeling, I have a really good intuition usually for things. So I think that would be my guess, like, okay, I'm hearing you. Bye.
Yeah, that's probably one that I probably wouldn't do.
There was one time that
violent?
I was having a show here in Compton. No. That was East LA. It was only in East LA. So it was a party at the backyard. And there was suddenly the police came out to the to the backyard. They parked there, and I was. But that time I was not even a month here in the States.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh my God, what's happening? And I was about to perform. And I noticed that the police, they came out of the car and they came into one of the, like the right next door to where the parking lot was taking place, the show. And they arrest somebody. Then they go to the other house and then arrest somebody else. And I was like, well, we're next or what? What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
I was worried about, like my equipment and all that stuff. Like I need to take out my guitar and all my pedalboard. I was scared of losing that.
Yeah, of course.
But I didn't cancel.
Oh, you didn't cancel?
No. We were staying there, like just to let's see what happens, and everything came to normal again. So it was a great time actually.
Did you guys end up playing?
Oh
that
yeah.
night?
Yeah. It was great. They were like literally through getting those two guys they arrested.
Oh, okay. So they didn't go to the place because of the party.
Yeah,
they just...
but we thought that was the reason.
You thought it was like a raid or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember back in those days.
It was crazy. It was cool.
They used to have backyard shows here in East LA or like in South Almani and Almani.
Or even I went to some in Compton.
Compton, yeah, I remember the Compton shows.
Southgate.
Yeah, it always happens.
Yeah,
you just run,
it's part of the rock and roll,
right?
Oh yeah,
It is, and then it's also like right now, like I'm thinking, because like you said, like you went to Mexico City. I feel like I would feel like that, like a little like on edge if I went there, versus like
Mexico City.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's because we grow up in the environment that we do, and we're used to
Right.
it. Like you were kind of scared of like where you were at. So for us, we used to go 15, 16 to Compton, East LA and all that. And we weren't scared. We were just like, hey, there's another cop and it's okay.
Yeah.
And like, so
Yeah,
it
you're
depends
used
on,
to the situations.
But that's like the equivalent of us going to Mexico City and doing something out there, and the Mexican police comes out and starts arresting people. I would get freaked out. We were just state
of Mexico, it's really dangerous.
Yeah, so I'll just tell you the story. It's different locations, but a friend of mine, we went out to Tijuana to watch Lucha.
Yeah.
And we were sitting in the car waiting for the event to start, and we were just drinking in our car. No big deal. But to me, I'm very paranoid. I'm I'm a paranoid person. So when the policia passed by on the left-hand side, I'm sitting on the passenger. I freaked out.
Yeah.
I freaked out, and I told my buddy, I was like, dude, the cops are right there. He's like, just chill out, man. What are you doing? They left already. I was like, no, I can see the lights, dude. I can see the lights. It freaked me out for a split second, and
sometimes they come back.
You think,
That's the thing.
Exactly. I'm glad that they didn't, but you think like you start like planning like, okay, oh my God, I'm going to go to jail. What am I going to tell Amber? How am I going to get out of jail? I don't even know Spanish. Like I start getting paranoid, but it happens when you're in another country and it's not something that you're
not
used
to. You don't know all
Yeah.
the rules or
Exactly.
how to get out of that situation. Like
Right.
you're in your city or your whatever. It's like you can call your friends
Yeah.
or help me.
Yeah. I could be in LA. I'm a paranoid person. I could be in LA and still get the same amount of freaked out.
I mean that's easy.
Right?
It is. There's always something interesting happening in LA. It's crazy.
It's crazy out there. So how are you liking it? How you liking Southern California and Los Angeles?
I like Los Angeles. I
Yeah.
like this area. But living in Hollywood right now, that's where I live,
Whoa.
it's crazy.
Yeah?
It's like I like it, but I prefer not to be like in the middle of, like the tourist areas or too much craziness. Like I like areas where I can chill out, or I don't have to hear a chopper every 5 minutes. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Do you have any places right now that you're going to just to relax and enjoy?
Right now, not really. I'm very, very busy that I don't really have the time to chill. I will love to, but when I'm on tour, it's funny because I'm working and I'm like going crazy and sleeping 6 hours and driving 8 and playing and doing it all over again for 5 weeks.
Wow.
But you see all the nature and being on the highway and all that. To me, it's relaxing. Like I feel good, even that I have the pressure of work. I feel good, like being on the road and experimenting a lot of stuff. But right now, next week, I'm going to Oregon this weekend. To Oregon, and it's
nice.
beautiful just to see family.
Yeah.
So those are the moments that I chill and like going with family, staying away from the city. That's the thing. It's like I like the city. I used to live in Mexico City. That it's crazy, but I was not living in downtown or like some crazy area. I used to live in a very, very close to Insurgencia Reforma, that it's like the heart, or a lot of things happen there. And I was just living for 5 months. I was like, that's it. No, I told the landlord, like, I can't, for real, I can't. I know that it's a 1 year lease, but I can't. let me be free. And he was nice with me.
Oregon is really beautiful.
It is.
Have you been?
Yeah.
Well, whereabouts in Oregon? Like next to Portland?
I have been to
Eugene?
Portland, and to Eugene. I toured the West Coast last year a couple of times. So
Nice.
I was like going all the way to what's the name? Crescent City.
Crescent City
then
is beautiful.
Portland and Seattle.
Have you been to Hood River?
No. Where's that?
Hood River's it's close. I think it's close to Eugene.
Okay.
A few years ago, a coworker and myself, we went out and did like a mini microbrewery
Ooh.
tour, and
That sounds
like
great.
along the coast of Oregon. And Hood River, Double Mountain was the craft beer spot that we went to. Oh my god, it was so good. Yeah, he was telling me, he was like, dude, you're saying every place was in there had the best IPA, but awesome food. I want to go back again. We went in November, so it wasn't too like green, but we still got the nice
Just
like
before the
moist.
snow.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a good nice little vacation, but it was
Sounds
awesome.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I tend to go a lot to Idaho.
Oh,
That
okay.
It's also, very, you go to connect with nature, kind of like very different. It's cool. I really like it there.
Idaho.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of potatoes out there?
Oh yeah. Yeah, and really good ones. It's delicious.
Yeah.
So who like what? So if you were to explain to someone that hasn't heard your music or doesn't know who you are, and you're saying I go to Idaho, like who are the people? What is your music about? What would you describe your music and like the type of people that kind of attract? You attract with your music.
Well, I play rock and roll. Like that's what Johnny Nasty Boots it is. I play rock and roll. A lot of the songs are about rock and roll, literally. You know, the life, the experience. A lot of songs are literally inspired in stuff that has happened in my life, and sometimes you just let grow your imagination. So I think this is for people that think that rock and roll it's still there.
Nice.
Rock
Love
and
it,
rollers from Idaho, from Oregon, from everywhere, Mexico, LA.
Mexico, LA, Hollywood, Eugene. That's awesome, man.
Benetton.
So when did you start playing music? Like what?
Mm-hmm. I start very young. I start
Yeah.
when I was around 13, 14. I start playing an instrument that it's called jarana.
Okay.
It's like a little guitar, very very similar to the ukulele. It's from Veracruz. That I lived in Veracruz when I was around 13, 14, and that was the instrument that was there before I get my first bass, because that was the first instrument that I was wanting to learn. And my dad was like, right now we have a jarana right here. So why don't you learn the jarana and make some
Jarana.
friends? So I started very young.
Can you pull it? Is that like it's exactly it's a guitar, or is it a version of a stringed instrument?
It's his own thing.
Oh, can you look it up? I want to see this.
It's very very similar to the ukulele.
Oh, okay.
Same tuning, but more strings. Yeah.
And is it larger than a ukulele?
There's different sizes.
Oh,
There's one
really?
that it's like
Oh,
the
my God.
mosquito, that it's like this size, and boop, boop, boop. So it's really cool.
So you're a stringed instrument player.
Yeah, mostly.
mostly. Do you know any other instruments?
I mean, I sometimes I play a little bit of percussion, but
Oh, yeah?
not like
Not crazy?
nothing crazy. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. How many strings is it?
There's like some versions that has 10, on another ones that has 12 strings.
Oh wow.
It's very very cool. Like the the 12 string version, it's like doesn't play like it's like 12 strings. It's more like I don't know how to say it in English, but in Spanish it's mancuernas, when it's like two strings together, like you press both strings at the time, like a 12-string guitar that it's the same as the 6-string, but it sounds double.
Yeah.
It's the same with the jarana.
Whoa.
It's beautiful.
It looks awesome.
Yeah. It's really really beautiful. You play son jarocho with that instrument. It's like the
I was
main
gonna say, I'm
genre.
like, did you start playing
Yeah.
rock and roll on this? No,
No, I started playing son jarocho, but
Jarocho.
at the same time I was learning guitar, kind of like I grabbed the jarana, and I was like for a year, and then I grabbed the acoustic guitar, and then I was learning the bass, pretty much everything like at the same time. It was crazy, and then I started like more focusing on the guitar. Like at the end, that was my main instrument. It is my main instrument.
What was the name of the music they used to play?
Son jarocho.
Can you look that up? I want to hear some of it.
I mean, you know La Bamba.
Yeah. But the original La Bamba.
The original La Bamba, I mean, we don't even know what's the original La Bamba. It's like...
Oh, because it's like a folk
it's
song,
a traditional, right? Yeah, it's traditional, but it's son jarocho. It's really cool.
That's interesting.
El Colás, that's another
Once you
great
hear
example.
it, you'll know what it is.
The sound?
Yeah.
There's this group called Mono Blanco, that they are like one of the best, They rescued the son jarocho when it was like about to get lost, because even right now, like you think in Mexican music, and first thing you came to your head, it's mariachi.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of other different styles of music, and son jarocho, it's one of the most beautiful, I have to say. I prefer than mariachi. And these guys of Mono Blanco in the 70s, they start like recovering the craft.
Really?
It's really really cool. Yeah.
That's something that I've explained, because Gil he's Mexican, but he didn't grow up. He's like fourth.
I'm Mexican, but I didn't grow up Mexican.
But he didn't grow up Mexican.
Yeah.
So when I'm first generation, my parents are from Mexico. So I
cool.
explained to him that every region in Mexico has their own not only cuisine but also their own music
Yeah.
and instruments, and it's like you said, it's not only mariachi. Like I didn't grow up with mariachi. My family's from the north, so I grew up with norteños and banda, and mariachi was
Yeah.
not a thing that we did in our that we listened to at home. It was if we went to other people's parties and things like that. So it's beautiful to see that yes, Mexico is one, but everywhere you go, it's something different.
Yeah.
It's like a huge palette of colors. Like Mexican culture, it literally has a lot in every aspect, right? Like music and cuisine, and like the clothing too, the fashion.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's really interesting. I took a couple of courses at like a community college during the pandemic, and I took rock and roll history. And the amount of information and just the way that the rock and roll tree influence culture, I just think about that with other countries, other types of music too, because it's all these different factors of blues and jazz, and I can only imagine like in Mexico there's exactly that. There's boleros, there's mariachi, there's banda, there's norteños. It's wild to hear about that. It's just like there's so many avenues of music to listen to in any type of genre.
Yeah, it's funny because son jarocho, it's kind of similar to the blues, like in
really?
in a lot of aspects.
Are you gonna play this or what? I want to hear this.
I don't want to interrupt you
You
guys.
will have to hear son jarocho in minor key, because it's
Okay.
usually are in major keys.
Okay.
And the blues, it's like more minor.
Right.
But the
I love me some
essence-
blues.
Oh, I
Yeah.
do love the blues so much. But the essence, like when you see the people that, because I was living in Veracruz in a really small town called Santiago Tuxtla. And you were seeing like the old man, 70-year-old, sitting on the, in the front with his jarana, playing, barefoot. It's amazing. It's like,
Yeah.
that's the same like essence of the Mississippi and the Delta, the Clarksdale and all that
Yeah.
kind of music. So it's like, makes sense. It comes from the same roots, that it's the Afro-American roots.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that makes total sense.
I love the song Jarocho. I have to make a Johnny Nastiwood's Jarocho one
Oh
day.
yeah. Yeah. The collab of a lifetime.
La Cotalpan. That's Gilberto.
Have you heard of a group called Las Cafeteras, Johnny?
No, not yet.
No? Okay. So they're from here, from LA. They all grew up in East LA, Boyle Heights, and everything. And they incorporate. Well, I'll show you.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it, but
Let's hear it.
'Cause they do this song. They cover this song. That's why I was like, wait, I know this song.
They cover the song that we just heard?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'll play that one.
Oh, they have the same type of hats too. I don't see those very often. Oh, they're on Jam with Them?
Where is it? Okay, here's one.
Oh, wow. They
Live.
have the KXP. It's one of my favorites, El Chuchumbe.
I
Yeah.
really like this song.
400 years of music right here in the making.
Is that a bone?
It's the donkey's jaw.
Whoa.
I remember going with some friends to try to find the donkey.
Really?
Like, we know they buried a donkey here. Let's go. Yeah, that's the jarana.
Wow. Oh, he's using the instrument.
Yeah. They're using the that's cajon, jarocho, jarana, and the one that it's doing the melody, it's like the requinto jarocho. It's like the lead jarana. Instead of lead guitar, it's lead jarana.
El chuchu me fue penado por el color de su piel.
So good. I love it.
That's super cool. And these guys are from, you said they're from LA?
Yeah, so they're friends of mine. I know
Oh.
them. Yeah, I know them personally. And
Now I know what's the link for the collaboration.
yes, yeah. Right
Do
now
it.
they tour. They tour everywhere, all in the US,
awesome.
and they're always like out and everything. But when they perform, it's like I don't know how to explain it. Like it gives me chills. I've seen them probably like 3 or 4 times already, and every time it just like I don't know. It does something for me, and it's a whole presentation that they do.
It's very powerful.
They dance and they sing, and they've even incorporated like rapping. So there's some that they
nice.
do like the jarocho, and then they'll rap in between, and then they're very like political and standing for for things that they believe in. So they're called las cafeteras. So.
I love it. Now that you mentioned like the rap aspect, it's very very cool because these guys that sing son jarocho, they tend to improvise lyrics, same as rappers.
Yeah.
So it's like da 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 and this and this and this and this da 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 and everything rhymes and so fast. It's like this is rap. Like this is literally the same thing, and they do battles like in rap. So the fandango of son jarocho, it's so amazing because they put like this the stage where the dancers are, and around the dancers it's like it could be 40, 41, 20, the amount you want. Like literally, if you have your jarana and there's a fandango, you get there, you start playing with the other musicians, and you start singing, and it's a great and huge jam. I love it. It's so cool.
So what's a fandango?
Fandango. It's
Fandango?
like a party. Like
Oh, it's a party.
And that's a translation. It's like
Fandango.
they say like, hey, there's gonna be fandango. Yeah, let's go. And they get together, and if you are literally walking and you see a fandango, even in the house of a random stranger, it's like you have your jarana, hey, can I get in? Yes, of course. And it's really, really cool. It's like a huge gathering.
Music is it's a weird, not a weird language, but it's an interesting language because once you know the beat or you know the rhythm, you can add your own. Like if you know the counts, right? If
you know the key, some aspects, yeah.
Yeah, would you agree that just some basic fundamentals would be able to get you through like a jam session like that?
No, I don't agree. Like, there has to be somebody that knows how to lead the jam.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I gotcha. So
Otherwise,
it can't just
get
be
lost.
okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because sometimes you wanna go beyond the box, and if you don't know and you don't have a direction, you're only gonna make noise. Like,
That makes sense. Yeah.
It's cool. I love it. It's jam. It's like
Yeah.
it's my thing.
Is it?
It is.
How's your writing process? Do you I always ask this with singers and songwriters, like what comes first? Is it the lyrics? Is it your melody, like your guitar? What is it?
For me, it's usually the music. The music came first. I start jamming. I grab my instrument. Literally, that happens today. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It happens very often. Like sometimes I'm doing something else, and I literally start like singing melodies in my head, and I feel like, oh, that could be a good riff or good stuff. I'm gonna translate it to notes. So I grab usually a guitar that it's like my main instrument, but sometimes whatever thing that makes sound that I can create a melody, and I start from there. So I jam, and until I like it, I record on my phone, and if it's something good, it's gonna turn into a song. I literally have like at this point 200 ideas. I don't know. It's crazy. I need to go every time and okay, this is really good. Or it's like what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's like this is horrible.
No, I 100% get that. aspect.
And sometimes I go into the, like, okay, I'm going to listen to everything. Okay.
Yeah.
This is 1 star, 2 stars, 3 stars.
Oh,
And I
so you
rank
start
them.
rating them,
Yeah.
going down, and then picking and choosing which ones you want to work on.
Yeah, usually it's like that. Sometimes there's phrases too, like, oh, these words will fit together, or this is something that sounds cool and it means something cool, and I start from there. But it's usually from a riff and a guitar idea.
Have you run into the thing where, say, you on two separate occasions you had an idea and thought about one, and you're like, okay, maybe this will work with my other idea? Has that happened?
Sometimes,
Yeah.
has happened, but it's not very
Not common?
very usual. I have to really feel them that they are in the same room, or they belong to the same thing. Like, because a lot of things can work together structurally and musically speaking, like with, oh, this is the theory, this is the same key, this is the same rhythm, it's gonna work. But if you change it a little bit, it's like you are talking about dogs and you are also talking about cars.
Yeah.
Could work, but usually don't.
Yeah, you kind of have to piece it together, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, what are one of your like musically, like one of your inspirations?
You mean like
Maybe your favorite band, or maybe somebody that you heard and you're like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. I want to do this.
one of those. I have a lot of inspirations, but Gorillaz was the first band that make me want to do music.
What song was it?
The first song that I hear from Gorillaz was 192000.
Oh, okay.
And then Clint Eastwood, and that was it. After Clint Eastwood, I was like obsessed with Gorillaz. I was 11.
11 years old.
Yeah. I was 11, 2001.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So after that, it was just going and going and going.
I never really grew up with Gorillaz, so that's interesting to hear. Even some of your music is pretty far out. I like it. Like it's really good.
Thank you.
Like
Appreciate
you're
it.
Great musician.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Awesome stuff, dude. So what are some of the projects that you're working on?
Right now, I just released the second single of what it's gonna be my second. I was going to say album, but it's actually my first EP.
Okay.
It's gonna include 5 songs that I recorded last year in Echo Park.
Do you have anything on your IG account that we can look up?
Yeah.
From that?
That's first we have the show.
Dude, I just want to take a second and just, I love your art and aesthetic.
Thank you so much.
Everything. Like, some people don't think about that, but you've nailed the detail, and it looks like you have a brand. Like it, I love it. I love everything, dude.
I like to thanks for that. I really like to every era of Johnny Nasty Boots. I like to be coherent with all the releases.
Like that.
Like, for example, the first album, all the covers were made by my dad. That it's a plastic artist. So then I released a live album at the Whiskey a Go-Go, and I choose a different artist, a friend called Jimena, and she designed all the covers. And now I'm working with Doberlab, that it's the guitar player of a band called Dissidente from Mexico City, that it's also an amazing designer, and I have always liked his work. So yeah, probably he's going to do all the next covers and the cover for the EP. It's like a whole aesthetic of that era.
It's art. I love music for the fact that it's music, it's art for your ears, but also it's awesome because there's more than that. Like, there's the art of album art.
Yeah.
If you decide to do music videos, that's a whole nother aspect of the business, and especially that we're in a visual world and a social media era. All that is you have to take it into consideration, and you're doing a really good job.
I take inspiration, gorillas, for example.
course.
All the, even that it's every time the characters, you can feel like, oh, that was the year of the second album. And it got, those all artwork got like some distinctive style. So I really like that. I imagine all these covers not only on social media, like if I will have it like here on physical format, that you never know. It's like, it will look great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that you don't really think about. Is it's so funny because when you do digital stuff and the names on digital, like on a computer, they're names for actual physical things. Like say you have a folder
Yeah.
in your computer.
You have your trash can.
It,
Very important.
Your trash can, your folder, your what else is there?
Your floppy disk, don't forget.
It shows a picture of it, but it's not really physical.
Yeah.
But back in the day, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And it's that's where I was getting to my point, is the album art. So for the podcast or any music, right? You create an album art for it. Imagine back in the day when it was actual album art that they had
like
to
you
do.
have to cut and paint and tape and
Yeah.
get
Put it together.
crumbled. Yeah, it's really crazy. I feel like all the time that I think on a craft, like how this was done back in the day.
Yeah.
Same with recordings and with film, like you go to see the behind the scenes of Snow White by Disney. It's amazing how they used to get the frame by frame of every the movie.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. And now, okay, Control Z, it's gone. C and
Yeah.
Control B, yeah,
It's done.
No, back in the day,
Yeah.
it was like, if you lost it, you lost it.
You
have
lost
to
it,
do it
that's it.
again or move on.
I forget who I was watching a documentary and they were talking about like some album that I forget. I don't know why I brought it up. I had no clue what I'm talking about. But there was a well-known band, maybe some, that they just went in the studio and cut an album. Like there was no tracks. There was no nothing.
okay.
Like it just going into the studio and recording live.
Yeah.
I forget who it was. It was somebody, but there's got to be something.
It's a technique.
Yeah.
I like to do it like
Yeah.
most close to that. Like this process, for example, was like with the drummer that I was working with and myself. We were in the same room playing live. Okay, again. Let's do it again. And you play the same stuff like 7, 8, 10 times until you nail it and until you're satisfied.
Yeah.
So as a producer, being the producer and also playing, it's kind of crazy because you want to do it once again, but you have to go to the other room. So sometimes you only have to be like, okay, I know we have it. We only are trying to be very ambitious, but okay, we have it. Let's go listen.
Yeah.
But it gets a different vibe if you're in the same room.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, hey, what's up?
And also that feeling of, oh yes, this is the take. This is what I want to use.
Feels like when you finish a song and everybody in the room literally is like, dude, you hear that, right? You press the button, right? It's like, you got it.
Yeah. Oh man. How do you feel on stage? Like when you're done doing a set, like how does that feel to you?
Exhausted. No, very happy. That's
Yeah.
I feel it's like having a show or having putting out something, like putting out a song.
Yeah.
Once that finally it's out, it's like, wow, it's just a lot of satisfaction. Like everything went well, people had a good time, I had a good time. It's very satisfying. It's like, I want to do it again. If this is how I'm going to feel like with this like piece, I want to do it again. It's so much fun.
Do you remember the first time that you're on stage playing your
I
own
do.
original music?
I do.
How did that go?
When you said that first, I thought on my first time on a stage
Yeah.
that I was playing Son Jarocho. Like literally, I was immediately going to that plaza in Veracruz. But yeah, I also remember playing first time music, original music. A lot of guitar players and musicians, they usually start with covers. In my case, I was 15 and I was already playing original music with other people. Like,
Really?
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And were you writing all the parts for your music, or how did that go?
On that band, I was invited. I was
Okay.
the youngest. All the other musicians were like 21, 22. They were like studying music.
Yeah.
They were like really knowing music theory and everything. Like they were like real deal. And they invite me like, hey, do you want to come in with guitar? And I was playing keyboards at that time too. I was like, yeah, actually Jarana there too. And I'm like, I haven't
Yeah.
thought about this band in a long ass time. So I'm like, wait a second. So I was not playing, writing my own parts, but sometimes, like, okay, let's do the arrangements. What are gonna be the arrangements? Okay, this is my idea. And we were like exchanging ideas, like, okay, why don't you add this, or what if you don't try this or that? But at that moment, I was not being the leader, of the band.
Right.
I was not the main composer, so I was doing part of the arrangements, and I was having some of. I wrote 3 songs for that band, but I was very involved on all the arrangements and everything. It was like going to school.
Oh yeah, especially if you were working with people that were older than you, that have experienced music or writing
Oh, yeah.
music. So I think that's probably was the best experience, right? To be in that place at your age, at that time, getting into music, and just probably blossomed and created more of a love for performing more.
Yeah, it was very, very. I had really good experience there on every aspect. Like literally, the first time that I broke up with a band also was
Whoa.
with that band.
How was
So,
that, dude?
It's horrible.
Do you,
No, it's sour.
is that the same feeling? Because I wouldn't know. Is that the same feeling of like breaking up with like, because that's so, it's
like-
crazy because you're with these people, excuse me, you're with these people for a long while, and out of nowhere, like it happens. Or
Imagine
it happens
having
over
4
time.
wives.
Oh, okay. Can't imagine having one, but
Imagine breaking up with the 4th at the same time.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Oh man.
It's crazy, but
Oh man. Do you still talk to any of them?
yeah. Actually, it was really cool. I went to Mexico City January, and I did an acoustic set, and they were there, like all together. Was like,
Yeah.
this is cool.
Oh,
So I like that. I don't regret that we broke up and then that
course.
time, because that was the beginning of Johnny Nasty Boots. That's when I was okay. I'm gonna sing now. I'm going to do like all the stuff and directing the music and everything. So it was like when I first started like blooming, like you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, there's a cause and effect, and you have to find some positive in something. You have to.
Yeah.
Because if you just look for the negative and think about the negative.
I was depressed. I was really depressed at
bet.
that time, but it came out really good.
Yeah. No, that's good that you see what the positive was in that sort of thing, right? So I'm not glad that you guys broke up, but I'm glad that happened because you're able to experience
That's
Johnny Nasty Boots.
Yeah, that's right.
So you you said that you have a tour, not a tour, a single
do.
coming up. You have a tour coming up?
Yeah.
Talk about your stuff that you're going to be doing
Yeah,
in the
of
next
course.
couple of months.
So I'm going to release this EP. I have
Okay.
a show this next Thursday, the 18th, at the Whiskey A Go Go here in West Hollywood. I'm gonna be opening for Gilby Clarke, that it's ex Guns N' Roses, so it's gonna be really cool. I love to play the Whiskey A Go Go. So if you are here in the LA area, grab your tickets now. It's gonna be really cool. And I have some shows at the end of the month on Arizona. I'm going to Juma, and I don't remember right now. I still waiting for the confirmation of the city and the venue, but I'm gonna be posting it very soon. And prior to the release of the EP, I have this tour coming all over the States once again, like 40 shows for September, October.
Whoa.
I'm going everywhere again. Yes.
And so your Instagram is the best place that anybody can find you and all that good stuff?
Instagram, I have TikTok, I have a website, johnnynastyboots.com. So I'm literally on every platform. I think I don't use too much X, but I have it.
I don't think anybody does.
Surprisingly, sometimes I have found people that told me like, "Do you have Instagram?"
Oh,
right?
really? Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you have X? Right? And I'm
Really?
like, "Yeah." Why? I only use that platform. I'm like,
Really?
okay, so
There's so much, though.
yes,
There's so much.
It's impossible. Honestly,
It's
it's
crazy.
impossible. Like I just wish, please, no more, because I experienced moving to from MySpace. I used to have MySpace.
Hey, MySpace was
It was dope.
MySpace
was
was the
dope.
goat. MySpace was the goat. I try to go every now and then to find my profile, but I can't find it.
It's gone. Like there was like probably 10 years ago or something, they delete everything. Like was lost. A lot of music, the archive of music.
So it's gone. You're saying
It's
it's gone?
Yeah.
Really? Did I ever
So
tell
my pictures I took in front of the mirror with the little
Yeah.
Oh,
iPod
no.
is
gone.
gone. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
But High Five is still around.
What was that?
What was that?
Oh,
What?
well, it was like very popular in Mexico, maybe in all Latin America. I don't know.
Can you Google this? I want
High
to see it
Five,
before
oh
we
my
get
gosh.
off.
I think right now it's kind of like some sort of Tinder or something. It's weird.
Let's see
It's
if we can
weird.
find Johnny Nasty Boots.
Oh
on-
yeah, no, you will. I have really cool photos there, but it's so weird. Like right now, the platform is just weird.
High Five Social.
But more like High Five.
Like high, like
Yeah.
Like hi.
Hi.
Hello.
What's up?
Oh.
one eye.
Yeah.
So high.
And the number highfive.com.
Oh, high five. No, pues nunca lo iba.
If you have family in Mexico, I'm sure they'll know what I'm talking about.
Oh, this is what it is. And it's still going.
Still
and everything?
lives. No, all the photos are there, like in super low quality, but they're still there.
Whoa. Okay, you
So-
learn
Oh,
something
yeah,
new
look,
every day.
Chicago dating, Portland dating.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Oh,
right
it's
now
a
it's
dating
weird.
site?
Why
Now it's like
Oh.
it's a dating site or something. It's some sort of like
Yeah.
I don't know even understand. Like
I
I
get
only
it.
go and see my photos. Like I have this photo like that I had when we were like 16. Yeah, let's find it.
Okay. That happens with social media networks. They turn into something
Something weird.
something weird, like Snapchat. I think Snapchat's like all like it was like the
It was like Instagram
Yeah.
stories.
yeah, it was like the thing before. Like I feel like the programming and like what Snapchat was like the small stages to OnlyFans.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, like with you have to delete or I never use Snapchat. Oh, I have a Snapchat now, but I don't really use it. But so you send a photo and it get destroyed or
Yeah,
something like that,
right,
Like
something
for
like that.
privacy. I don't know.
People used to use Snapchat because they used to erase to send like explicit photos. So people would be like,
They did.
"Oh,
You
what's
got
your
Snap?
What's
Yeah,
your
what's your Snap?
Snapchat?"
Oh my
and it
gosh.
was like that.
Yeah.
That was
Surprise!
Surprise.
that's what was being like sent.
Don't do that, kids.
Yeah.
Only if they ask for it.
Yes.
Consent.
Yeah.
Get consent first.
Nobody asked for that.
And now we're gonna laugh at it.
No one solicited, you know what pics. Johnny Nasty Boots, this was a magnificent time.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for coming out and doing the podcast. I appreciate it. It was great talking to you.
Likewise.
Tell us where we can find you and what you have coming up.
Well, don't forget to find me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, johnnynastyboots.com also. And there's more shows and EP coming. Stay in touch. I would love to see you there and, meet you.
Yeah.
Boom!
All right.
And just like that, Johnny Nasty Boots links will be down in the show description. If you're listening to this on Spotify, go to our YouTube account. This is where you will have all the access to all the updated episodes. If you are listening to this on Spotify, please follow, rate, all that good stuff, and leave us a message. There's a new send us a text option on Spotify, so if you want to leave something good for us, we'll read it on the podcast. Nobody has sent us anything yet, so send us something, tell us how we're doing and all that good stuff. Go down to the links
Oh, yeah.
to Johnny Nasty Boots.
All the good things are there. That's the show for this Thursday 18 at the Whiskey Go-Go.
There we go. Johnny Nasty Boots opening for Gilby Clark, right?
Tocayo.
There we go.
Tocayo.
Yeah.
Go down and support musicians. This was great. It was great.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Talking to you.
Thanks.
Everything. I appreciate it.
Really fun.
Yeah,
I think
fun.
this is my first podcast ever.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, like this format, like we're on the same table, face to face. Really cool.
Awesome. You had a good time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's always a good time. Thanks for coming out and doing this.
I'll do
You're
it
a
again.
natural. You're a natural, man.
I mean, I have been in a lot of interviews
Yeah.
and stuff, but like the podcast format.
This is different.
It's different.
This is
It
different.
feels good.
We're able
I
to
like
talk
it.
about the 27 Club. We're able to talk about different types of music.
Son jarocho.
Jarocho.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Love it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
The Mind Buzz.
Super cool, man.